And we're speaking with Josette Gilead. Interesting discussion thus far. I want to go to the morgue at the funeral home. Can I do that with you? So someone dies and the person is delivered to the funeral home. No, the person is dead. It's bacteria and all of that. What happens next?
Okay, so once a person dies and they come, the funeral home then decides, the family decides which funeral home they're going to go to.
I'm coming to yours.
Okay. Thank you. Once the family decides which funeral home they're going to go to and they come to us, they're placed in the morgue. Once the decedent is placed in the morgue, then we then set the features because...
Decedent?
Yes, that's what we call the dead person.
Not deceased?
No, decedent.
Decedent. That's a new word. Okay, decedent. Go ahead.
Okay, so then the features are set. The reason why we set the features is because a few hours after death, just about 8 to 10 hours, rigor mortis sets in.
So what do you mean you set the features?
As in, close the eyes, lock the jaw, sew the mouth, set the mouth in a pleasant,
like
smiling,
you're dead, but you're smiling?
Well, not exactly smiling, but a pleasant look. You set the features because once the rigor mortis sets in, it's very hard to get that mouth open. We may just have to break that jaw.
Oh, Jesus. Even if the person is already dead, it sounds painful, right?
So if the decedent now dies, like for example an older person, and they wear dentures, it's advised that the family give the funeral home the dentures because we have to put the dentures in and get the features set.
What about the room temperature? Because, I mean, the person is dead and...
Well, of course the morgue is going to be cold. The morgue is cold at about 30 degrees. But then the decedent is placed in a cooler. It's like a small fridge, refrigerator for adults, for the living, for the dead.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
They put them in a
she
cooler.
Goes between the living and the dead. Like me eating bread and then I eat crackers. So we're with the dead now, not the living.
No.
So there's a cooler.
There's a refrigerator, a walk-in usually. Usually it has to be a walk-in.
As my fridge at home?
Oh no, it's way more frigid than your fridge at home.
And that's to ensure that the body is kept at a
particular temperature to reduce the risk of microorganisms growing on the body.
Too cold for them to grow. Now, oh Jesus, this is difficult, but I'm going to do it. The family insists on viewing at the funeral. That person might have had a deteriorating disease or was shot in the face. You know, when a living person is shot in the face, there's plastic surgery. But you can't perform plastic surgery on a decedent, you said?
No, we can't, but still, we can build back the face.
Really?
Yes, if it's at a place where we can actually see a picture of that person or compare from one side of the face to the other, we can actually build the face if it can be reconstructed.
A mortician can do that?
That's what we do, restorative art.
Wow! So, you know, sometimes you attend a funeral and the person doesn't look, the person looks cuter in death than life. You did that? You guys do that?
Oh yes, we can do that.
So nobody would realize that the face was distorted because
except the person is totally mangled, where the
like
bullet or whatever, or for example a chop wound, and it really mangles the skin and you can't get it back together, then it should be reconstructed.
Okay, farmers use forks, doctors use stethoscopes, nurses use what? Stethoscopes, scissors, and all of that. Artists use paint brushes, teachers use whiteboard. We ain't using any chalkboard now as teachers, we're using whiteboards. What tools do you use?
Oh, we use forceps, blades.
Forceps sounds as if somebody's, you know, like you're having a child.
Oh, not that big of a forceps.
Oh,
the smaller version.
The smaller. Blades?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we
Why
use
do you
blades.
need blades?
Because we need to cut into the skin to find the vessel to embalm the body. In order to embalm the body, we need to find that major vessel that takes us to the circulatory system. So we need to raise the artery, the major artery.
The person is dead. So you still have, but the artery is not.
It's collapsed, but we have to search for it.
How do you search for it?
By cutting into the area that you're embalming and search for the artery. That is why anatomy is so important in being a funeral
I'm
director.
serious. You guys do anatomy? Yes. Because you're telling me about searching for arteries. So you cut through the skin, you find the artery. Then what happens? Because a heart pumps the blood throughout the body. You know, heart action going on here.
Yes, but we still use the circulatory system. There's still an in and there's still an out. In with the artery, out with the vein. So we in with the fluid.
Somebody said out with the vein. You guys are morticians? So it's a nurse thing. Anatomy. In with the artery, out with the veins. I like this. And so, but is everybody embalmed?
Everybody is not embalmed. It depends on if you're willing to pay for embalming.
It's costly.
It is. It is. But it's a requirement. Once the body is being sent overseas, it must be embalmed to go to another state.
But then if it's local, you don't have to be embalmed.
It depends on the funeral home. It depends on what the family is willing to pay for.
Oh. So that fluid goes through the body. And what? It stiffens you? What it does?
What it does is that the embalming fluid is used to preserve the body, preserve the organs. So when sent through the arterial system, it goes through the organs as of in the living. It goes through, and any excess blood, some is mixed with the fluid inside, any excess blood is flushed out through the vein. That's why we leave the vein open. So when they say it's, the fluid comes out, it's excess blood that comes out of the vein. And once it gets to the different organs, it hardens them.
Suppose it's a situation where the person doesn't have a heart at death, maybe bypass surgery or whatever that might cause the person's heart to be missing. It could be an accident. I mean, it would be.
We can embalm each area separately. We can embalm each area separately. Each arm, because there are arteries all over. There are arteries in your arms, in your legs. So you can
embalm the arms,
each leg, one side of the face.
So you definitely need to have a good hold on
the
anatomy.
artery. Yeah. Yes. It's a very major, it's a standing, it's a platform to stand on for anything in mortuary science, anatomy.